When it comes to cutscenes, Blizzard has some of the best in the industry. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 cinematics in Blizzard games.
The galaxy will burn. They're coming.
Number 10, Tyrael's Sacrifice, Diablo 3.
What would you know about sacrifice?
Let's start things off with a battle between two angels. In a flashback told to Leia, Dead Zone style, Tyrael tells how he shed his angelic form and fell to the mortal world.
All I am guilty of, Imperius, is bringing justice, while you hide, cowering behind your throne.
As he faces off with Imperius, Tyrael delivers probably the best line in a game plagued by poor writing.
You cannot judge me. I am justice itself.
And proceeds to quit the angel business for good. And why did he do all that?
Because humanity is the only hope for this world.
Number 9, Tychus' Sentence, StarCraft II: Wings of Liberty. A cinematic that doubled as both the reveal trailer for the long-awaited StarCraft II as well as the game's intro. Viewers are introduced to Tychus as his crimes are laid out.
Murderer, pirate, traitor. Today, you go free.
He's now free, but on the condition that his battlesuit would become his prison for the oncoming Zerg War. This also serves to remind players of one of the cooler points of StarCraft lore, that Terran Marines are almost all re-socialized convicts.
Make no mistake. War is coming.
Also, if you recognize the voice, you'll get a hint at Tychus' true intentions when he joins Raynor's Raiders.
Mr. Findley, your freedom awaits.
Hell, it's about time.
Number 8, Reign of Chaos teaser, Warcraft 3: Reign of Chaos. Back in 2002, when 56K modems were still pretty much standard, fans of the beloved Warcraft series were hyped as they slowly waited for this glorious teaser to load up, second by second, for the much-awaited Warcraft 3.
Like fools, we clung to the old hatreds.
These days, you can watch a video on YouTube without delay, but waiting for a 2-minute video to load after about an hour and a half was pretty standard back then. Their wait was rewarded with a stunningly detailed trailer, for the time at least, one that hinted that the war in Azeroth was about to get a whole lot bigger.
Until the day the sky rained fire, and the new enemy came among us.
Number 7, The Lich King Rises, World of Warcraft: Wrath of the Lich King. One of the many expansions for the most popular MMORPG of all time, the trailer/intro for Wrath has the appearance of the iconic Warcraft 3 character.
The very forests of Lordaeron whispered the name Arthas.
With his legendary blade Frostmourne, Warcraft's version of Darth Vader summons this impressive-looking beast who can pull a neat little trick.
I tell you this, for when my days have come to an end, you shall be king.
Number 6, The Infested Space Station, StarCraft. While the graphics of this cinematic haven't aged as well as the other entries on the list, it's still as great as it was back in the 90s.
Hey, are we really gonna blow this place?
Only if we see a Zerg.
Drawing heavy inspiration from the Alien films, the suspense is beautifully built up as some cocky Terran Marines are tasked to investigate an abandoned space station, only to find... Number 5, The Zerg Invasion, StarCraft II: Heart of the Swarm.
I am the swarm.
For a more recent take on Zerg versus Terran conflict, Heart of the Swarm's teaser and intro can be summed up in one word: epic. Pretty much a Zerg rush of Lord of the Rings proportions, this cinematic sums up Kerrigan's intentions well.
On this world, vengeance shall be mine.
though it doesn't get any higher than number 5 because... it was all a dream? Who thought that was a good idea? Number 4. Baal steals the Soul Stone, Diablo 2. By the end of Diablo 2, players who had been following the admittedly loose story would have been wondering where Baal ended up.
And that the Soul Stones were destroyed in Hellforge. All except one.
Those wonders are quickly extinguished as Marius relinquishes the final Soul Stone to who he thinks is Tyrael, only to die at the hands of, or should I say tentacles of, the Lord of Destruction himself.
I am not the Archangel Tyrael.
What follows is this badass slow walk out of the prison as everything burns behind the last prime evil. Number 3, the Orcs' Victory, Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness. The ending to the second Warcraft game ends in pure delight as the Horde seizes Lordaeron in this oh-so-charming scene of the Orcs slamming down the door to take out the king.
Guards!
Nothing dramatic, no backstory needed, just pure violence and gleeful satisfaction. For the Horde, baby. Number 2, Arthas' Betrayal, Warcraft 3, Reign of Chaos. This ended up as one of the most shocking moments in video game history, with such great build-up in the campaign prior, as Arthas starts to go mad with the power bestowed to him by Frostmourne.
You lied to your men and betrayed the mercenaries who fought for you. What's happening to you, Arthas?
This leads to the prince returning to Lordaeron where, spoiler alert, Arthas kills his own father, the king.
What are you doing, my son? Succeeding you, father.
Fun fact, you can visit the site of this grim betrayal in World of Warcraft, and you can even hear the cheering of the long-dead crowd if you listen closely. Before we get to the most cinematic moment, let's have a look at some honorable mentions. Number 1, Kerrigan's Betrayal, StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty. This one should be a no-brainer, especially for StarCraft fans, as it was the most crucial turning point in the first StarCraft game, when Kerrigan is abandoned on Tarsonis and left at the mercy of the Zerg swarm.
This is Kerrigan. We've neutralized the Protoss, but there's a wave of Zerg advancing on this position. We need immediate evac.
Belay that order. We're moving out.
What? You're not just gonna leave him!
A decade later, in StarCraft 2, we get to see this scene fully recreated at cinematic level, truly capturing the emotion of the hopeless struggle Sarah was left to endure.
This is Kerrigan. We've neutralized the Protoss, but there's a wave of Zerg advancing on this position. We need immediate evac.
Belay that order. We're moving out.
What? You're not just gonna leave him!
Also, that part where the Hydralisk busts through the wall. Awesome. Do you agree with our list?
My hatred burns through the cavernous deeps.
Which Blizzard cinematic do you like to watch over and over again? For more epic top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I knew you'd find your way here. Eventually.